Welcome back to All the Above with me, Emma Keogh. This week I have a gorgeous little soul who I've been dying to get on. It's the one and only Cathair Curran.
Hello.
AKA Kegs. He is a content and a community curator. He actually brings people away on retreats, workshops. You love traveling, wellness, and you've been on a sober journey as well.
Yes, all of the above. Many different things. Like I think I'm a bit like yourself, where I'm like, we've sort of toes in many different pies.
Yeah, and I think because I only met you a few times, and I remember the first time I met you, and I was like, he is just my spirit animal.
Yeah.
Like your energy, your vibe. But I know you're all about the energy, but then you're probably like, I need my alone time. I need to just chill and hermit.
I feel like very much that. I think I'm really enjoying, like I've been in a van sort of for the past year, and even being at home at the moment, with like back with my family, I'm just like, I just love being a big social butterfly. I love going to events, love doing all this here, but I need to be by myself at times as well. You know what I mean? Re-energize yourself.
100%. I see so much of myself in you as well. Because what age are you?
28.
Yeah, when you said that to me, I'm like, I think you're so young spirited, but at the same time, you're quite mature for your age.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like, I don't know, if I didn't think I was, but then
I'm over 10 years older than you.
Are you?
I'm 40 this year.
What?
Yeah, I'm 39. Yeah. But I just was like, but it just shows that age is only a number. It's about energy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like, Emma, how are you that age? I think it's because I just show up as my energetic self.
Yeah, like my 18-year-old brother calls me a child all the time because I'm just so like silly and playful and I just act easy and just be like a big child all the time.
Yeah.
I act like that, but I also feel like I've got my head screwed on in ways too.
Oh, 100%. But that's why I think if anyone follows Kegs on Instagram, I absolutely love what you do. I think it's because you truly express you're playful, you're fun, you're zero fuck side. And I've really seen that from following, because I followed you for years by just dancing around, not giving a fuck. I'm like, that's how we all should be.
100%.
Where we're so caught up in our own head. Like where did that kind of come from of you really opening up yourself of saying, I'm just done here of holding myself back?
I suppose it's been a long journey. Like I think growing up as like a gay lad from a small place, also had ADHD, didn't know it at the time, but I was just masking so much to try and fit in. Like I would have like forced myself to be more like the lads, to walk and act and talk more like the lads. Would have played football. I would have done all these things to try and fit in, and that just really like set me down a really dark, negative path where I really struggled with my mental health for years, and it led me to like partying, and I felt like, I was actually speaking about this recently. It's like you're not feeling seen as who you are. So then you're trying to force yourself to be someone you're not to try and feel seen. So like when I was like 3 years of age, I would have played with dolls and Barbies and would have wore tea-towel in my head. And I would have been like told to like be more like the other lads. And that wasn't like the right thing a boy should be doing. And then when I was in school, I would have been like picked on for being too girly. And then like different things. I remember doing like a meditation retreat recently, and I was like pinpointing all the different times.
Was that the silent retreat you
silent
did?
one, yeah. And we can get into that after if you want.
We will,
but
girl.
There was loads of different times throughout my life where I pinpointed like big moments where I just didn't feel seen for being me. So then because I didn't feel seen for being me, I tried to like feel seen in other ways. So I was quite smart in school in primary school, but then go to secondary school and I was like, oh, I'm not the smartest anymore, so I don't feel seen anymore, which led me to the partying. And then I then started social media and started getting seen in that way. So I was just like had this attachment to being seen. But I went completely sidetracked there from the authenticity. This is what it's about, babes. I love it. But the authenticity and expressing yourself freely, I actually seen a quote recently and it was like, the opposite of depression is self-expression. And
can we say that again?
Yeah. The opposite of depression is self-expression. And it is just so true. Like I was in my worst depression because I was completely not expressing my true self, because I was completely pretending to be someone that I wasn't, to try and be seen, to try and fit in. But as I went on this path, it's been nearly 7 years now, because I had my spiritual awakening in Ibiza 2019, and I've been on this journey of like really just getting to know myself, accepting and loving myself, but also really shining a light on all the parts that I don't like about myself and that aren't so nice about myself. And I've really just went on this journey, and a big part of me getting to know myself on a deeper level is to getting out of my head and into my body through things like dancing, through things like singing, through things like expressing yourself freely as who you are. Because when you're really truly expressing yourself, you're in the present moment, you're not thinking about what you're doing, you're not thinking about the judgment, and you're really just being you. and it feels so powerful and so beautiful and so magnetic.
Yeah, and hello, like I can feel the energy off you as well. And that's something I noticed myself when I done my yoga teacher training 2 years ago in Bali. And obviously I do think Gen Zs, like say you're 10 years younger than me, I think you guys have the upper hand now because you're a lot more aware, you're a lot more open, and you're aware of yourself and your habits and your behaviors, where I'm only learning that, say, the last few years. But when I was in Bali, I remember we had to do our ecstatic dance, right?
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. Even though I was seen online, it was actually me being seen in another way of expression.
Yeah.
Being free, being open, you know, moving my body, because I was like the curviest girl in the yoga course.
Okay,
so
right.
like everyone was a size 6 to an 8, and I remember breaking down every day.
Oh, really?
Crying all the time because I couldn't do certain asanas, and everyone was like twisting into a pretzel. But side note, right, when we done the ecstatic dance, and I remember we did it several times, it's like a workshop as well. I was like, this is so embodying and so freeing, because I was holding myself back because of like the likes of like your weight or afraid of being seen and like your body. And I found it so freeing, and that's something I'm definitely wanting to explore more of, is self-expression. And it is true, like I want to take up like salsa bachata. I want to do like sexy pole dancing, like do you know what I mean? Like I want to like roll and rumble.
Yeah.
Do you know, because like that is what we're here to do. Like, why are we oppressing ourselves? Which the likes of our mom and dad or our grandmothers, and you're just like a little, I'm like a bird. I'm like, I love it.
I do think it does take work to get there as well, because I used to live in Bali, and that's where I first started ecstatic dancing.
How many years ago was that?
Maybe like 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
How long were you there for?
I was in Bali for 8 months. 4 years ago.
Take us on that journey now.
Yeah, so I was going to say with the ecstatic dance. So when I was trying ecstatic dancing in Bali, first few times I was like so in my head thinking everyone was looking at me, blah, blah, blah. But the more you get into it, the more you start moving your bodies in a way that you've never made before, the like more you get out of your mind, and then you just start being like, oh. And then I think it also shows up within every aspect of your life. I think a massive part of me being able to go sober was because I was doing ecstatic dancing.
Do you think so?
I think so, because it really made me it really allowed me to show up in spaces and just dance in like bars and nightclubs without thinking that people were judging me or without thinking people were looking at me.
Yeah,
you know,
I know what you mean, because we were even talking like off the pod as well. We were even talking, say, like about dating, or like, you know, getting confidence to whether it was dating or going dancing or doing things with like alcohol as well. Because I know I would have done that years ago. I'm not a huge drinker. I do like a glass of wine. Yeah. But a lot of us, like I say, listeners out there as well, we feel we do need alcohol to actually have this confidence mask on us.
That was actually... So I haven't drank since September 2023.
Over 500 days?
Over 500 days. Yeah, over 500 days. But one thing that I really noticed from quitting alcohol was that I actually had no confidence when it came to dating or men. I literally did not speak to a guy for 5 months because I had no confidence. But then it forced me to go on a journey to shine a light on the parts of myself that I didn't necessarily love, to maybe accept and love those parts to get that confidence. And then once you start like dating and going actually on that journey and doing the things that make you feel uncomfortable and scary, then you become more confident. And right now in this exact moment is the most confident that I've ever been in my life. And I don't actually think I would be this confident in that aspect if I didn't quit alcohol, because I was just using that as a crutch to like pull guys for my whole 20s.
Yeah. And what was that breaking point for you about going sober? Everyone has their moment, whether we've been in a hard time, but when did you wake up and say, this is it? Like,
I would say, so I was a massive party boy. Yeah. For the first years of my party boy life was end of school, uni days, and I was partying to escape because I was not okay mentally. But then I basically hit rock bottom, and I like lost my driving license. I got kicked out of university. I got sacked from my corporate job, got cheated on, all of these different things all around the same time. Like it was not a good period. And at the time I was like, felt like my life was over, but it was really just the turning point. It was really just the beginning, because I had a moment where I was like, I need to do something, and I literally just left everything and went traveling, went and done a season of Magaluf, and from then Shagaloof and I was still obviously partying, but I still like started going to different places and getting jobs on the cruise ships, and then Ibiza. And
you worked on the cruise ships?
I worked on the cruise ships.
I'm so jealous.
That was the worst job of my life.
Really? That was one of my dreams.
Job of my life. Got £2 an hour, worked every single day for 5 months.
You got £2 an hour?
Yeah. I was treated like dirt. It was not a good job at all.
my God.
But every cruise ship's different.
Yeah.
Every job is different. Like that was that one. I don't even think that cruise ship exists anymore. But anyway, so I was just going on this journey of like traveling. I started listening to like podcasts, and then it was like Ibiza 2019. I had like the spiritual awakening, but I was partying because I was loving life. I was actually loving life. It was the first time I was starting to be a bit more myself. And I remember having this moment where I was like crying my eyes out with joy and love. I was like, oh my God, this is the best moment of my life. And from then I started like going on the personal development path. But I was
So
still
you were only about 21 on this.
22. 22, aye.
That's why I think you're like, you're definitely an old soul that's lived about 10 lives.
I feel like I've definitely been here many
I'm
lifetimes.
like, how did you start going on a journey at 21? Like, where most people are like, F this, I'm going out to actually like party till I'm 30. And then it's boom, something happens.
Well, if you had told me at that point that I was ever going to be sober, there would not have been a chance. You're like, wow, sober people are born. Are you joking? But then I was obviously still partying for years. Like I literally went from like Ibiza to Miami to Tulum to all these different party places. But I was also doing the like starting to dip my toe into like the meditation and the yoga and the plant medicine and all that there sort of stuff. And then from when I lived, so I was done about a year and a half to 2 years in like Asia, Australia. And in the period, I done like a couple of months partying, then a couple of months sober, a couple of months partying, a couple of months sober.
Okay.
But like I was just trying it out.
Yeah.
And because of things like the ecstatic dancing and going out and having the crack sober, I was like, oh my God, I feel so unreal when I do that. And it was the best experiences. And I remember living in Thailand in Copenhagen. I was fully sober the whole time I lived there. Didn't even eat meat. I was like doing yoga and was dancing and doing all these amazing things, like just really connected to myself and nature every single day. And it was the best that I've ever felt in my life. Like if you ask me where my favorite place in the world is, it's Copenhagen, Thailand, just because of how I felt.
Yeah.
Then I moved back to Ireland, get sucked back into the old Kegs. So whenever I say like Kegs and Cathair I feel like is me now, but Kegs is like unhinged party boy, does crazy things, is a little bit egotistical. But Kegs is more like, or Cathair is more like me, my soul, you know?
Yeah.
But go back to Kegs when I come back to Ireland, partying loads, end up moving back to Ibiza for the summer after I break up with like a situationship. Partying non-stop, literally drinking and getting on the substances for like nearly every freaking day. I came back home from Ibiza and I was like in the pits. And I was like, I need to get back to that version of myself in Thailand, but in Ireland. So I started exploring more. I started doing yoga in Ireland. I started going to ecstatic dancing in Ireland. Didn't even know it was a thing. Started meeting more like-minded people in Ireland. And then I, again, was doing like a couple of months sober, a couple of months back partying. Then we get to Brat's Summer era, Charlie XCX Brat's Summer.
Was that 2 years ago?
Would have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
No, it would have been
2023.
nearly 3 years ago. Because it's
2023.
near
After
2.5 years ago.
COVID. Yeah.
Or would it have
I'm
been?
just living that life.
Yeah, so, wrecking the show. Charlie XX. Oh my God, I'm going to see Charlie XX movie tonight.
Oh my God, fab. That's
Excited.
going to be good.
It's
Unreal.
gonna bring
She's
me
so
back.
hot.
She's so freaking
so
cool.
hot.
I love her. But I was just feral that summer. Like, I even remember I was that feral. I went to a festival in London. And I ended up meeting this random man, and he was like filling my ear filled with like love bombing things, and I was absolutely steaming. And he was like, but I didn't know he already knew me and already followed me beforehand. But I was like, oh my God, this guy, I feel like he knows everything about me, but he actually did. And he knew I like spontaneous adventures. And and he was like, John, have you ever been to New York? And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, well, do you fancy going? I was like, what, right now? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you pay? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, Steven. And then he was like, oh, actually, let's go to Barcelona. So I ended up leaving the festival with this man and flying to Barcelona for a freaking holiday.
Oh, a complete stranger.
Complete stranger. And I was like feral for days. And I was like, literally wasn't sober for days. And it ended up getting a little bit not okay. So like I'll not get into it for legal reasons probably.
Yeah.
But it was like a rough
A bit toxic.
Yeah. And I was like, it showed me the dark side of the gay world sort of. And it kind of was a bit like, oh, this is not my vibe. And then I was still partying throughout the summer, but at the end of summer I was like thinking about going sober, and I ended up at a party that was kind of dark vibes. I'm not getting into it too much, but it was just like where my comfort zone stuff. People were doing stuff that I just would not go near. And I remember so for that whole year, I'll get a little bit woo, why not?
Yeah, we'll touch on this now.
So I feel like from moving back to Ireland, I was having like big, massive spiritual experiences every couple of months. I felt like
was that when you were sober, or
this was before I went sober?
Okay.
I think going sober
sometimes you need the downloads, don't you, first?
I think I had a big, massive. Have you ever heard of Kundalini activation?
Yes, we spoke about this before.
We did
when we were in the wellness event.
Yes,
and we were talking about
yes.
Kundalini, because I remember when I went to a Kundalini a yoga session in Yoga Barn. And my whole body was like vibrating. It was mad, but I felt like something was like trying to come out.
Yeah.
But it hadn't came out yet. It was just like,
Yeah.
but I know I need to do it again.
So I think I done like a Kundalini activation thing in Bali, and then in Thailand that time when I felt unbelievable, I done like a little plant medicine ceremonies, which was also the craziest synchronicities ever.
Ayahuasca or what was it?
Ayahuasca, yeah.
I've never did that now.
I
don't feel called to do it.
I would only do it if you're feeling called, and make sure you do it with the right people.
This is the thing, because I have seen it. I know we're getting sidetracked on so many conversations, but this is why this is the only one I did not prepare, because I knew we'd have so much to talk about. But the ayahuasca thing as well, you see so many things on like TikTok, and like I have friends who have done it, and it's been amazing experiences, and it does help a lot of people. Obviously with shamans who are trained, they went to Mexico, they went, and I remember saying when I was going on my own journey as well, people were like, oh, would you do it? I do not feel called. I feel like I'm called. Not at all, not even 1%. I'm like, no.
I was definitely called to do it.
What was your experience like?
So I remember thinking that I wanted to do it when I was in Mexico, like 4 or 5 years ago. And then I ended up going to the barbers in Tulum, and my barber started telling me about this tribe who does ayahuasca. I was like, oh my God, did you do ayahuasca here? What? Because I'd just been like researching it.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing it with that tribe. Ended up doing that with that tribe a couple of times. Completely changed my life. Completely.
And what's like, because you're getting sick and you're
being sick and all that there. Yeah.
But you're purging.
It feels kind of like right thing to do. But those ceremonies with that Mexican tribe were amazing. Like really life changing for me. And obviously it's not like that for everyone, but I would really just make sure you get a good tribe, and these were a good tribe.
They're around that and reared by that. Like they know. It's not like you're going into someone's house up in like Meath or whatever it is. Like I know there's different places to do that, but I think you need to be around trained people who are 100%. In the Amazon as well.
I also feel like, because this is a bit woo-woo, but it opens you up spiritually so much. The space needs to be protected, because there is... I feel like there's spirits out there that may not have your best intentions at heart, so the space needs to be protected, and you need to be protected, you know? And I've had experiences of stuff like that as well, which you don't really need to get into. But so I really wanted to do it with that tribe again when I was in Thailand, and this is the maddest synchronicity of my life. I was like, I've never been called as much in my life. So I'm in Thailand a couple of years later, and I was like, I'd love to go back to Mexico and do it with the same tribe, because they were just so loving and beautiful and amazing. And I remember being on Instagram, and one of the guys working in the ceremonies in Mexico was on Instagram Live playing his ukulele or whatever. And I just started messaging in, like seeing how he is. And he was like, oh, where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm in Thailand, thinking of going to Africa. And he was like, oh, you must be on like the same energetic path as the tribe, because they're also in Thailand, thinking of going to Africa. And I was like, what? But obviously Thailand's huge. So I'm not really thinking much about it. And the next morning I'm in my yoga class, and I'm in my yoga class out of thousands of yoga schools in Thailand. And I just start thinking of the shaman and the tribe. And I'm like, I wonder where they are. Like if they were in a nearby island, I would go over and see them or whatever. Anyway, I didn't think much of it. Finished the yoga class, get to the door of the yoga class. And in my yoga school, there's a cafe across the street. I look over and I was like, surely fucking not. The shaman from Mexico was in the cafe across the street in my yoga school at the other side of the freaking world. I was like, what the frick? So I went over, told him, and he was like, there's no such thing as coincidences, brother. This is your sign.
It's the invisible string theory. Like,
100%.
Like you are all connected. Like
big time.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing like loads of ceremonies and stuff with them that week, and it was really powerful. But I think something happened in that week that I think it might have like activated my Kundalini in a way, because I was having like really mad experiences. But don't want to get into it. It's a bit mad, to be fair. And I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm just enjoying being human. But I was like very mystical, woo-woo, magical and stuff. And I was like, ended up getting the call to move back to Ireland. Didn't ever think I was going to move back to Ireland. Honestly, didn't really like Ireland. Was traveling to get away from it. Was in my yoga class, and I felt really connected to myself, that I was able to ask myself questions in the yoga class. And I just heard a voice was like, it's time to go home. And I was like, what? And then I asked myself, is it time to move home, or am I moving back to Ireland? And as soon as I asked myself that, my yoga teacher, who was Irish, started singing, I'm coming home, I'm coming home.
Oh,
and I was like, what the fuck? So I was telling her, she was like, well, this is so much synchronicities were playing out. Moved back to Ireland. Obviously, like I said, I got sucked back into the partying. But when I started acting like I was in Thailand, then I started thinking that it was actually May of... not last year, but the year before. From that May, big spiritual things were happening to me that made me like, something would happen to me where I would like level up, or would have like an epiphany, or would like have a realization, or something would happen every couple of months. But I knew something would happen because I see angel numbers flat out. But when something big was about to happen to me, I would see them way more than usual. Like an absurd amount of times I would see angel numbers throughout the day. And a couple of things that happened throughout the before I quit the alcohol, but I realized it was working its way up through my chakras. So the root chakra was feeling safe at home, connecting to Ireland, getting grounded in Ireland, stability, like all that there sort of stuff, having a good relationship with my family, like all these different things. That was my root chakra. Then I went to my sacral chakra, which was me sort of exploring my sexuality in a way. Then it was the confidence, the sacral, or the solar plexus, all that sort of stuff. That I realized. So whenever I was in Spain when it happened, and I was seeing angel numbers flat out that day, and I was like, oh, I think something big's going to happen to me. Ended up at that party. It was like, so whenever I party, I can't just go out for one drink. I'm out to the next day. And I ended up going out with a few friends in Spain, and they were all going home at 11 o'clock, and I was drunk. I was like, I'm not going home. So I stayed out by myself, made friends, all these Spanish gays, went back to this afters, and the afters was like them doing like hardcore drugs, and I was like a big orgy, and I was like, this is too much for me. And I just felt called to go into the bathroom. Went into the bathroom, and I was already seeing angel numbers flat out that day. Looked at myself in the mirror, and it was as if this energy came into my brain, and it was like, you do not love yourself when you drink. And it was just a download into my brain, and it was genuinely, looking back, I think something rewired my brain in that moment. The next day I went to this like beach town on my own, and I had the worst hangover for days, and it was just me reflecting on my life. I was like, I am on a journey of loving myself. I want to love myself because I know that energy attracts energy. I have so much visions for my future, and I'm not going to attract these things if I keep drinking and getting myself into these like situations and states and stuff. And then I just was like, I'm never drinking again. And I then came back to Ireland, went to like an awards ceremony, was up for a few awards and things, and I was so overwhelmed and anxious at this awards ceremony. I was like, I need a drink. Drank that day, and the next day I was like, that's me done. I'm never drinking again. And
I think I remember that. Was that like the Gossies or something?
It was the Vava Wars up north.
Okay, right. I remember you putting up a post being like, this is the worst hangover of my life.
I was on the bus home. I literally ended up I ended up at a house party in the Holy Lands with all the uni students in my suit. Had to go straight from the house party, and it took the bus home the next day. I was like, nope, this is me done. But so I feel like in that moment something spiritually big happened to me, because I never thought I could never drink, and it literally rewired me, and I've never wanted to drink since.
It's mad, isn't it? Like when you actually start listening to that inner voice and your body, instead of just running away from it and masking with alcohol. Because even with me, like I'd say, like I said, I do drink. I actually don't like to like party. You wouldn't catch me up all night. I'm like, I like to be in bed at 2 o'clock. Sees later, I have a hot water bottle. I'm like, no, I'm the first to leave. They call me Houdini because I just leave. I'm like, no. The only time I might stay up is, if you're at a festival and you go to like the Rave in the Woods or wherever like that. But like, I'm sleeping then for 6-7 hours. I'm like, fuck off.
I couldn't go to the Rave in the Woods. Are you on about EP?
Oh, I don't do EP.
Oh, I love
ATN.
EP.
No, as in the Rave in the Woods in EP, I can't do.
Oh, I can't.
No.
I can't.
First of all, it's a 45-minute hike. And second of all, it's too intense for me.
It's so intense.
But ATN is lovely.
Yeah, ATN's gorge.
Yeah.
I love ATN.
So
I'm a festival girly. Like, I love it.
Same.
Like,
because I don't go out, but I love festivals. I love the freeness. I love frolicking
Floating
around.
about. It's so fun.
I love being able to just sit in your van or your tent and be with people. There's no phones.
Yeah.
You're just like having a vibe, like
it's a
getting
vibe.
food.
And it really does depend who you surround yourself with. Like you said, I'm very like at these festivals, you're probably the same. I'm so sensitive to energy.
Now, do you wear loads of crystals when you're at festivals?
I wore my crystal last time and stuff,
right?
But I really protect my space. So like before I'm going out in the public area, I would sit and meditate. I would like so I feel like my light is rainbow color, so I envision like a circle of rainbow light all around me. I always call in Archangel Michael. He has been a massive part of protecting my energy everywhere. Every time I even help him,
gorgeous tattoo.
I love him. But I really protect my space. And even at EP this year, I was like fully sober, and I remember every time I closed my eyes, I kept seeing like a woman in front of me like this, and I was like freaking out. I was like, why do I keep seeing like a figure of a woman? And I was like, initially I was like thinking it was like, I didn't know what it was. I was like, is this trying to tell me that I fancy woman or something? And I was like, no, it's not that. It's not that. And then I was like, oh, is this like me being protected? And I was like on a full body yes. I think it was like one of my spirit guides in front of me protecting my energy at the festival, because energy is so heightened.
See, this is the thing. I remember it wasn't, I think it was 2023. I remember it was 2024. Oh, these years I'm just like slipping by.
They are.
I went to about 4 or 5 festivals. It was my first year like single Pringle. I was like, I'm saying yes to everything. And I went to Beyond the Pale, the one in Glendalough. It was lovely, real kind of boutique-y. And I remember I went in, I didn't have any of my crystals on me to protect me, and I went into my Reiki the following week, and I remember feeling violently ill after that festival. It was like this heavy darkness like a depression feeling over me. Obviously, yeah, you're after being drinking, you're out, you're partying, whatever it is, like, you know, that way, and you're not getting the best sleep. But regardless, it was a different feeling. It was like this heavy sludge on me. And I said it to my Reiki healer, and she was like, Emma, you are picking up on everyone's energy because you're around them. And she was like, you need to protect yourself. She actually had a crystal bracelet. She gave me one, and I was like, right. From then on, I felt it, I think, after another festival. But I think since 2025, and I think it was like EP 2024, all the girls laugh at me, but now they know it's a routine. They love it. My sage, I saged the whole tent.
I've seen your videos, actually. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, everyone gets saged when you come in, or you're sitting there. I give you a little sage, and I sage the tent every single day. So I'm clearing out that energy, right? And then I put my crystals on, and I make that little, when I'm saging myself and protect myself. And not once I felt like that again. Now, they can say it's a placebo, but I think it's real.
I feel like it's real too. And I think when you're open and sensitive to energies like that, you really have to.
And I'm an empath as well. You're probably
like
the same.
Big time. The reason I started getting into Archangel Michael was because I was in Mexico, and I was like really starting to dive into like the spiritual work, like the plant medicines and things like that. But it really opened me up. Then I went straight back to Ibiza doing the party season straight after. And when you're partying, taking drink and drugs and really open yourself up, I feel like dark things can attach to you when you're open like that.
Entities,
and you're taking like negative substances, like maybe like whatever. You know what negative substances are, do you know what I mean? I think this really is really common for things to like attach to you and stuff. And then I went back to Ibiza, and for a month I got depressed. I was like, why do I feel like depressed? What's going on?
Yeah.
And loads of bad things kept happening because you're in a negative state, you're attracting negative situations, and it was just not good. So I left Ibiza, went home, and then I went solo traveling around Croatia, and I had a weird experience with a card reading where it was like didn't feel like good energy. And I went and spoke to this like psychic woman from Ireland, and she was like, you have a negative entity attached to you. She was like, she started telling me that it's attached.
Who's this now? What's her name?
It was years ago. I can't remember.
I always love an Al Good, like medium fortune teller, and I like to go like here and there. I'm like, I'll give everyone a plug on the pod.
It was years ago, like I can't remember. But she done a clearing for me on the phone, and she was like, literally felt like a burning ring of energy coming out of my body, and I was back to normal straight after the call. So there was something attached to me, and she called in Archangel Michael, and ever since I've been calling him in all the time for everything I ever feel anxious or unsafe or something. And I know that's people being like, oh, you might be living in fear by like calling him. I was like, no, I just feel like it's
that's
nice
your thing.
mind,
like
know?
Everyone has their own thing. Because I remember when I done Reiki, I haven't been in a few months now, and I was, on the bed, but when it actually so mad. So when I go into Reiki, I've been getting it done for like 12, 13, 14 years, and it's like my soul levitates above my body.
Yeah.
Right. So I go in, I go, boom, straight away. And I remember one time, and even like my Reiki healer and trainer, if any follow her on Instagram, she's brilliant. 4 angels, all white, came from each side of the room, like 1, 2, 3, 4. And at the end of the session, she was like, Emma, did you see those lights? And I was like, obviously my eyes were closed, and I was like, she was like, I could see them flying into your body.
Wow.
But mad stuff happens between like me and her. Like, she started this journey a few years ago, and I definitely think I was connected to her in a past life. Like, and like one time the room nearly went on fire. All the candles were flaming, and she was like, Emma, I have to blow those candles out. Then like the window kept knocking, like something was knocking on the window. Then there was a tapping in the room. I had a past life regression as well. I don't know if I told you about that, but it just happened. It's not like it was all planned. All these things just happen because our energies are so connected, and sometimes
powerful.
Yeah, but even when I'm on the bed and she's doing Reiki, I get visualizations, right? When she's working on me, and then after the session, she sees everything I see.
Oh wow.
She's like, oh yeah, like, that happened, or were you, like she said to me, she was like, I know you're a witch in your past life.
Of course, I love it.
Yeah. But I got my tea leaves done years ago when I was 23.
What's the tea leaves?
Girl. So I knew I was going to get into the woo-woo with you, because I know you love this. So years ago, I was 23, and this woman, she called Mary Tea Leaves, right? She's up in, I think, Tala or Clondalkin or whatever like that. And she's like 25, 30 quid. So this is like 17 years ago. So you go in, or like our son opens the door, hell yeah, whatever. You go into her kitchen, she makes tea. It's literally like Professor Trelawney out of Harry Potter. The grim, when she's looking in the cup, right? She looks in the cup, and she's like, oh, there's something here, or there's something there, or that's whatever. So, but I remember she said to me, you're going to get a new car, blah, blah, blah. But I remember she said to me, she said, I've never spoke about this on my podcast. I'm actually going to tell you, and I knew I was going to talk about all this with you. So she was like, you actually have a male like guardian that looks over you.
Oh, wow, nice.
And I said, okay. And then she said, but you're real alpha as well. Like you were a male in a past life. So I was like, all right. She's like, I can see it there. And she was like, also, she was like, you were a witch in your past life. So like, I think you were burnt at the stake. She was like, you want to get your past life regression. She was like, I can give you someone, but I feel it can be dark, but it'll find you when it's meant to find you. So that was when I was 23. So roll forward, I think it was about 2 years ago. I was like, whatever, it was before I went bad, 2024. So it was the January. I went in, going into Reiki, ready for to cleanse my energy, center my chakras. Went on the bed. She started meditating, but I could feel really warm and fiery. So I was like, I'm just going with this here. I really surrender. Went in, and then out of nowhere, I could feel this like fire burning in my stomach coming up, and I was like, oh, this feels really heavy. But then my feet started to tingle, and it was coming up through my body like electricity, like that. So then she was moving down to my feet, and my feet were starting to vibrate. But I felt someone else press on my stomach like this, but I knew it wasn't her. So then I started seeing visions, and like I was burning. And I was in this like wicker basket, like lying down looking up, but it was like I was in like a wooden like wicker wattle and daub like coffin, but everyone was looking around me like I was going to be burnt. And
that's nuts.
It was like in the Salem witch trials, like 1800s, you know that vibe?
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was that. And then I remember like I felt all this energy, and I let out a scream. This is in Reiki. I went, like that. And I started crying, and she was like, it's okay, just go, like, and I was going with it. So then after that, I came out of it, and I was absolutely wrecked. But I felt like I let something go, right? She said. So then my aunt said to me, Emma, I saw everything. She was like, your kids were looking at you. She was like, I could see like what was happening as well. And she was like, I actually needed a moment to walk out. And she was like, that's why I think you've kids in your past life. And she said, the only reason I got a little bit scared because nothing like this happens to her, only with me, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, she was like, I was going to not go through it. But she said, this man came in through, because she has like a room where the steps go down. This man came in, and he was a big, huge, tall guy with like tattoos on his face, about 7 foot tall. And he just went, keep going. But that's when he pressed on my stomach, right?
Wow.
So that
I have goosebumps everywhere.
Right. So that all happened. So when people think, and I don't talk about this online, and I'd love to talk about it, but this is why I use it as my podcast.
Yeah.
Like, this shit is real. It's
so
not like,
real.
I'm just dreaming of something, right? When you're connected to that. So then after that, then I was like, oh my God, Mary Tea Leaves. I was like, the witch, all this stuff coming through. So that was that. So then a few months later, I go to Bali, whatever, doing the Reiki, go back to Anne, and then go back into my meditative state, and out of nowhere I start having visions of like being in like Native America on these like green plains with like teepees and buffaloes and eagles like flying around, and seeing like people like Pocahontas, like Native Indians. I was like, oh my God, this is so freeing, like.
Yeah.
But then out of nowhere, when I turned around, who was there? Your man, the tall guy with the markings on his face, who was already after coming in a few months prior and going in on my stomach. So back to Mary Tea Leaves 16 years prior or whatever it was, that was the male, the guardian,
was guiding you.
and who I used to be a male in a past life as well.
Wow.
And that was the witch.
Oh, wow.
See? From fucking tea leaves.
This is mad. It's all connected.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
when that happened, like, and I know even like say like the likes of, like I love doing like my angel cards and my tarot cards and all that. And I know everyone on Instagram, all my followers love this, right?
Yeah.
But I remember, like, I think it's because, like, my mum would see orbs and stuff like that and feel spirits, and she used to do palmistry, and then my great aunt used to do, like, the crystal ball.
Oh, so they're all into it?
And my great granny done the tea leaves, like.
Oh, class.
I only found all this out over the last, say, like, 10 years or whatever it was.
Oh, so no one in my family is into this.
All that is, so, but you're the one that's breaking the generation, because you're opening your spirit up.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, like, even my friends who say to me, like, obviously I know I can, like, read people and stuff. I'm like, oh no, something's going to happen there. Or, oh my God, did your man get back on to you? And you'd say to me, I didn't even speak to you about that. How do you know that? I done a psychic development workshop as well.
I feel like I should do something like that because I'm the same. My intuition is so strong. Like I just think of things
I
and it
think
like
you'd
would
be
happen.
brilliant. Like I'm getting downloads here. I feel you'd be so good. Like not like a shaman, like a guided, like a proper spirit guide. Like you are gonna be that 100%.
I feel like probably something along the lines of that.
Yeah, because even actually for anyone listening as well, I done a psychic development workshop because I do think, especially our intuition, which is our gut, it's our second brain. We constantly ignore that all the time. We go with this brain. This is our true brain. This is where all your emotions are. It's huge. It literally weighs 2 kilos as well. All your happy hormones, your gut is there, and that's your instinct.
Yeah.
Like have you ever done something you're like, oh, I know I shouldn't do that.
So last year, my first year of like not drinking, I really started tapping into that. And there was a few, and I think whenever I think I got tested many different times last year to really get me to learn how to trust my intuition.
Like what?
For example, an example would be I agreed to do a brand deal with a company that I had already previously worked for, but my intuition was like, don't do it. And at the time I had like no money, just bought the van, and I was like, it's a good paycheck. It's loads of other creators doing it, blah, blah, blah. Let's just do it. I agreed to do it for literally like, I can't remember exact timeline, but like maybe like a month. Everything in my life went to shit. And I was like, oh, everything's going wrong here. And then I meditated on it. I was like, why is nothing happening for me right now? Like, why is everything going wrong? And I meditated on it, and my intuition was like, you agreed to do something that's against your values, it's against your morals, because you went with your mind, and this is you being shown that because you didn't listen to yourself, then everything in your life's going to get out of alignment. So that was a big lesson for me. So now whenever things feel slightly off, I have to really like sit in, think about it. I'm like, okay, now this feels right, you know?
Yeah, and what do you do for listeners to actually listen to your intuition and yourself a lot more instead of your head?
So dancing.
Okay.
The ecstatic dancing, it's one of my most powerful tools. I actually feel like people who haven't experienced it don't really.
I'd love to go to a class with you.
That's my goal for this year. I want to start doing ecstatic dances in Dublin. That's my goal.
I'll be
for
there.
The year.
Yeah.
I really want to start doing it. I want to start. I see a few guys online doing movement meditations. They do guided ecstatic dances, and it's like it looks really powerful. So I want to learn how to do that as well.
Yeah.
But ecstatic dancing. But I think that's really shown me how to get out of my head and into my body. But then, I think because I done that so much now in meditation, I feel like I couldn't really properly meditate. But then from doing the dancing and then going to the Vipassana 10-day silent retreat, I feel like I can really just tap in from meditating now quickly.
Yeah, talk to me about this retreat now. How did you get on? Like, would you rate it?
It's very polarizing. Is polarizing the right word? Like yes and no.
Okay.
It's how would I describe it? I think I felt like I was being called to do it. I kept bumping into people on my travels who'd done Vipassana, kept like meeting people. I was like, why do I keep meeting people?
How many days was it for?
10 days.
Right. Tell people exactly like what you had to do.
So it's called the Vipassana. It's a ancient Buddhist tradition. It's what the Buddha done to become enlightened. And you're basically you're not allowed to speak for 10 days. You're not allowed to look at anyone for 10 days. You're just in your own wee world, and you have to meditate for 10 to 12 hours every single day. And for maybe like 3 or 4 of those hours, you're not allowed to move. So you have to just sit.
I wouldn't last. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just know. You deserve a medal. I was like, no.
I feel like you'd be all right.
Well, see, it's a mental test.
Yeah.
You are mentally testing yourself.
Yeah. And you have to just sit. And because you're cross, like sit on the floor and you're not allowed to move.
My back could be in bits.
My right knee and my right hip and my right arse were excruciating pain, and I just had to sit and observe. But it was really powerful. And for me, I think because I have had like really crazy spiritual experiences before that I was so open, I feel like I was really quick to get deep into the meditation, and I was going really, really, really deep, really fast. Like you weren't told how to do the actual properly Vipassana until like day 4. On day 2, I was doing it without being told what to do. I feel like I've done it in a past life or something. Like you're scanning your body from head to toe. So basically you're scanning your body for any sort of sensations, because every single experience that you've had in your life, if you've attached to that experience and not let it go, like maybe it could be like a good feeling, but could also be like a trauma. It's stored as an energy in your body. So like a sensation, so you're scanning your body up and down to feel that sensation, for it to be felt, to then to be let go of, which is then you're letting go and you're freeing yourself up. So on day 2, I was like scanning up and down and up and down. But I would then, because I was going so deep so fast and I wasn't really grounding myself, I feel like I was going to like full on, like I was seeing mad visions. Like I felt like I was ayahuasca on steroids. Like I felt like I had taken
mad,
like a
isn't it?
substance. I was literally just breathing. And I'm on I had, previous to doing the Vipassana, I had discovered that I had ancestral trauma, as probably most people do, but we're unaware of.
Yeah.
I discovered it on my birthday. I had a really big spiritual activation on my birthday at a festival. And I was hearing loads of voices telling me what ancestral trauma might be and why people in my family and myself show up the way we show up, because we're trying to not feel the trauma that's in us. So like, I binge at sugar. I would sometimes have told like little white lies. I used to drink and take drugs and all these different things, and stems to like numbing the feeling of this. So I was doing a lot of work to like get through that, and the Vipassana was really just tapping into this feeling. And I feel like this like I don't know how, like, this might not be factually true, but this is the way I see it.
Yeah.
Like, prostate cancer runs in my family and the men, and I feel like that was through with ancestral trauma. I think it like has like
That's your root though.
yeah, it's all down there. And I felt it all around here. And during the Vipassana, I kept going through all that. And I remember on like the second last day, I had a really powerful experience where I literally felt like the energy that was around my lower organs literally went up through me, up to my heart, and was alchemized. And it literally felt like it left. And I literally felt all of my lower organs breathe in and expand, as if I could feel every cell of my organs. I was like, what is going on right now? This is nuts. And then I had a feeling of, so in the Buddhist Buddhist transitions, that's not the right word, traditions, they say you're either going from light to dark to light, dark to dark, or dark to light. And I think my journey, I've been going from dark to light. And when I literally had that experience, I literally had a vision of me being half in the dark, half in the light. And I went from half the dark, half the light to mostly into the light. And I felt this euphoric feeling of love, of peace go wash down upon me. And I literally was like, this is the best feeling of my entire existence. I've never felt as much peace and love in my life. And for 24 hours, I felt like that. This was like the second last day. I felt unbelievable. Like, I felt like pure presence and pure love. It was just like heaven on earth.
You had no noise.
Yeah.
You were in that. You didn't have to talk, tell anyone. It was like your own life.
But then on the very, very last day, just as the final meditation was finished, I had a bit of a scary experience. I'm not going to get into it because it's so woo-woo and I don't really need to get into the details.
No, you don't have to.
But it was very scary, very dark, and it really frightened me. And it brought me from like the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. But they do say that if you reach that high, you have to experience the low. So I was like, really, after the Vipassana, I was really going through it for, I'm going to say like a month. Like, I was really bringing myself out.
Was that January?
Yeah. January was like for a full week at least. But I was like slowly bringing myself back to myself, and it definitely took me a while to get back to myself.
But it would, like, you're 10 days in like solitude and silence. I hats off to you. You should be so proud of yourself, because I think you can't just go into society after that. It's very like,
I was in hibernation mode.
You'd have to be.
And to be honest, I think because I was having all of these massive spiritual experiences, like I said.
Did you journal, or are you allowed journal?
You're not allowed journal. Not allowed anything. Not allowed anything.
Journal would have been like good if you could write. Yeah.
I can't lie, I did. This is against the rules. This is against the rules. If you're in the Vipassana committee, I did not do this. I did sneak in a pen and paper, and I did write down every day.
I'd have to.
Yeah, I snuck to my room and like done a bit of journaling every day.
Yeah, but like, I don't see anything wrong. Like, I feel just in order. So then you have that phase and that chapter of your journey. You're like, whoa, that was a big part of it. Like, to download.
I did document a lot of it, and I also feel like the whole experience was extremely woo woo. It was for me, and it wasn't for everyone. Like, I was chatting to everyone else, and no one really had similar experiences than I did from chatting to people. But I think maybe the experience that I had at the end was obviously happened for a reason, for sure. I feel that, but I think the whole experience, from also the whole of the year, the whole of 2025, I was having massive spiritual experiences that were very not really, I wouldn't say human, but like, they were very mystical and magical, and it was just mad. And I was like going way into woo-woo land. And I think that experience has brought me back to just wanting to be human. Like, yes, you can get to all these like woo-woo like places, and like, it is beautiful and magical and mystical, but I just want to be human and actually integrate and embody everything that I have learned on my path, and just be here on earth and just help people as a human, you know?
Yeah, no, and I feel I'm at that phase as well, where it's like, I've done so many courses, we were talking about that, and I've done loads of, you know, like healing and feeling, and I nearly feel I'm healing from the healing. I'm like wrecked.
Yeah.
Where now I'm like, just integrate. Just actually, it's about the journey. It's about the experiences of being a human and everyday life as well, and encountering things and seeing where you go. But making time for yourself to do your meditation, your dance, have fun with your friends. Like, I do think as well, like the wellness world, it is like so vast now. And you nearly feel you have to do a 5-hour step routine in the morning to just be one with nature. Where it's like, do what suits you. Some days you want to meditate, the next day you want to dance, the next day you actually just want to have a coffee and lay in bed. Yeah. Or whatever it is. Like, 100%. You know, it's so different. Like,
yeah, I'm the same. I'm just like really just loving it. But I think it really has made me enjoy the simple life. Like, I'm really, I'm living at home with my family. Yeah. We get up together at 7 a.m, go to the gym class. I come home, make my cacao, do a bit of meditation, like just do a nice sweet slow morning about my routine. And then the rest of the day I get stuck into all the work bits that I need to do. And I'm just like, I'm like, for the past few weeks, I've just been like, I am loving my life, just having this simple life. It's great.
Yeah, it is. It's paring it back, because then when you're busy as well, do you know the way? And from living in your van. Yeah. To the year. Did you love that?
Oh, it was a dream of mine for so long. Like, my favorite creators for years were people who like lived in their vans and traveled around.
The dream.
And it was, I'd say 2025, yes, it was very mystical, magical and woo-woo, but I also became friends with really like-minded people who also do van life and travel and adventure and do content. And I went to 13 festivals. I went to travel the whole of Ireland, up the north to the south. I went everywhere, met such amazing people. And I would say 2019 Ibiza was the best time as Kegs. 2025, the year in the van, was the best year as Cathair. It was so fun. I loved it. And yes, it was challenging at times. I had really challenging moments, but they really helped me grow and evolve. And I think it was the most transformational year of my life as well. Like, I've done a lot of growth and belief in myself and trust in myself. And it was like really leveled up. And now this year, I feel like I'm like ready to take action, which is why I have decided to put the van up as a competition. Yeah. So if anyone wants, my van is a gorgeous, beautiful green camper. It's amazing. You just can go have a look at my page or whatever. Gorge. But I think I'm just really ready to have structure, stability, routine, and really just focus on like building my business. And don't get me wrong, I might get another van in the future, but right now I am just putting it up for competition and hopefully get a bit of dollar to invest in like trainings like we were discussing. That I just want to like work on my business now, you know. And I'm loving this like stability vibe that I'm on, like you know what I mean. Like, I think as well, I've been so in my feminine in my 20s, like so flowy and like floating about and doing bits and pieces here and there. But I had a few experiences throughout 2025 where I really felt my masculine energy being activated, and I was like, oh, I'm ready for like a bit of like, do you know what I mean, like discipline and structure and all the healthy masculine traits. I started feeling like I was embodying them. I was like, right, I'm ready to like have a bit more balance in my life,
like, you know, the yin and the yang. And what's next for you?
Ooh, next for me. So my goal this year is, so I've been a content creator for the past few years. My sole income is brand deals, but I'm like ready to have my own thing. So I have been hosting group trips for the past few years. We've done the Philippines, Bali, Morocco, different places like that.
Yeah, you've done so well with that.
It's so good. I love it.
So good.
I just love, I get such like, it's so rewarding bringing people on adventures and putting people out of their comfort zones and seeing how rewarding it is for them. It's like, oh, I'm actually helping people in their path, you know. It's, you're the same, like you.
Yeah, I love it. It just puts a smile on your face.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, my goal this year is, my business is called the Seer Life. Seer means free in Irish, and that's literally my like value in life is freedom. And yeah, just like, I want to do like my first retreat is booked. It's going to be in the middle of May. Haven't actually announced it yet, but it's coming up this week, hopefully.
Where are you doing it?
It's in Wicklow. So my first retreat, I'm very excited.
Whereabouts?
It's called the Mucklaw Lodge.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I'm doing one in Paris Court Springs in April.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Head over to my website, empowerwithemma.com.
Yeah, so that's my goal this week, is to get a website going, because I need to get it up and running. But yeah, retreats, I want to do like sober event. I'm thinking of moving to Dublin.
We spoke. I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah. I want to move to Dublin. I want to do sober events, sober activities. I want to do like wee adventures here and there around the country. I'd love to do a Camino. I'd love to do another trip abroad. Just different things like that, you know? Do
you know what it is? Like a big thing, I think, and that's why we're quite similar. It's community and connection.
Yeah.
That's all we want now. Like, do you know, that way? And even though you're on socials, you have the other side where you just want to have fun, be with people, good energy, good vibes as well.
Yeah.
And to finish off with, if you were to describe yourself in a song, what would your song be? Your life in a song. I was going to say a quote, but I feel like yours would be a song. What would be your song of your life?
Oh wow, I actually see questions like this I'm not good at because
I'm throwing this out there.
my brain can't remember any song ever. I never remember songs, artists, or anything. It's like, because I can't remember names of things when I put on the spot like this. Let me think. What could we say? What reckon this? What would
That
you think?
lamp is gonna get upended. I actually have one
Go.
for you. Ultra Nate. You're free.
Oh yeah, that's the
to do
tune.
what you want to do.
Yes.
You got to live
Living
your life.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a bit. Oh yeah, I love that. That's a good one.
I got that. Well, Kegs, it's been Cathair now. It's been an absolute pleasure. Where can people follow you on your socials?
So my socials. My socials is Kegs97 on TikTok, Instagram, and then I have my Seer Life page as well, where I'll be posting loads of events and things going on this year. So
Thank you. It's been a dream.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
so
you.
good.